Mr. Akintoye Olusegun Adeyelu, JP, born on the 17th of May 1949, is a man who is loved by all and sundry. He is a man who has also committed his life to serving Almighty God. Born in Mercy Hospital, Lagos, Mr. Adeyelu lived his early life in his hometown, Igbotako, of the then Ikpa division in Ondo State.
I was told by my parents that my daddy was playing draft when my mother went into labor. And the people came there telling my daddy that your wife is in labor. But he was so engrossed in that draft game that forget about that until my mommy was rushed to Mercy Hospital where I was born. Later on, my daddy followed them there. And that was why my daddy insisted that none of us should play draft, IU, and other not more indoor game.
Mr. Adeyelu described it as rough and tough.
So my daddy packed us, and we are back to Igbotako in 1954. Unfortunately for me and my late brother, my daddy was a photographer. He was in the army. After the Second World War, started the photography job here and there, riverine area, this and that. So we started this farming issue. When we get to the farm, because we were not used to the way they trek and do this thing, we always have wound in our leg, in our toes, this and that. It was very, very tough.
He furthers to speak on his academic journey.
So by 1955, I was registered to start primary school at Baptist Day School, Botako. In those days, it's just like maybe kindergarten something. So by 1956, they introduced us into English something. I still remember that book, A Man and a Pan. And that is the book I showed you in my library. A Man and a Pan. That is the beginning of the book. A man and a pan and a man. So my daddy used to, teach me a man and a pan and a man. So it started gradually until I got to primary 4 with my late brother. Suddenly, my daddy said I should repeat primary 4, that it is dangerous for children of the same mother to be in the same class. But I think daddy was doing that indirectly to checkmate this issue of two of us gaining admission into higher school the same time because of money. So I have to repeat primary 4. So instead of 1960, I finished primary school 1961.
At a time in 1961, Mr. Adeyelu suffered an unknown disease which deprived him of walking with his 2 legs, and he had to crawl until he was hospitalized for treatment in the Igbobi Hospital, Lagos.
Some will say it's rheumatism, some say this and that. Eventually, I was brought to Lagos and I spent a year in Igbobi Hospital, 19 December 61 to November 62. So by November 62, the result of primary 6 leaving certificate exam came out and they didn't find my name. Either I pass or fail, they didn't find my name. Daddy quickly registered me again for primary 6 leaving certificate exam, 1962. So I was brought back to Botako towards then. I didn't attend class again during the period I was in the hospital. So I started for primary 6 exam again, 1962. The funny aspect of it was that Western region now brought my certificate of 1961 with a letter that this is one of the best students for that primary six leaving certificate. Before then, my daddy used to argue me in the house. Look at him. But she to drop nìyẹn. There's nothing I can do. I think that thing pained him so much that I didn't pass, and I was always first in the class. But she to drop nìyẹn. That is how I got to know that when you fail an exam, they use that word drop. But she to drop nìyẹn. So when they brought the letter to the church, they read the letter that this will have one of the best results in pharmacist living certificate, and this is the certificate. My daddy stood up and received the certificate. I was mad with myself.
In 1963, he was admitted into St. James's Modern School, and he had to go back to the farm in 1964 as a result of lack of finances.
I don't understand the logic behind it, but my daddy sent me to Kokopa to stay with one W.A. Sheyi. It was like a slave camp. I think the arrangement was that the man will pay part of my modern school fees. But I was being used. We were 28 when we entered that place in January 1965. But within the first 3 weeks, we were left with only 3. The other went out of Sheyi's house to rent houses where they will live as these students outside. But I have no choice. I can't go back to Butako. I was there for 2 years, 65, 66, with which I finished Modern 3. Modern 3 living certificate then entitles you to teach in primary school. But that very year, government said Modern 3 could not teach again. I became a labourer again. Doing some minor job here and there until 1968. I was only entitled to my mother's room, and I wanted to go to Manua to start from 1 as a day student. Where will I be reading? So by early 68, I started molding block and do this thing. So I joined a room. So one side of my papa's house. His house is still there now. I finished the house, we roof it with all this local something. I got a bed, but no mattress. I was more or less an assistant gardener to the Beragan. The Beragan was exactly directly opposite my papa's house. Only footpath separated the Beragan and my house. So I used to be a German there clearing the Beragan. It was the grass I cut in the Beragan that will dry. I looked for mala with this teru and made a mattress for myself. That is how I started from 1 in Manua in 1969. I was about 20 years old. Unfortunately for me, day student will resume on Monday. On Friday, I got a ghastly accident on a cycle. I was highly wounded. I was seriously wounded. And I have to start. And they said I shouldn't let water touch the place for about 3 or 4 days. And I have to go to school as a fresher, as a day student. So one way or the other, I started from 1 in Manua. And God willing, I used to trek. I'm not talking of myself alone. A lot of us used to trek from Ibutako to Manua and back, Monday to Sunday. Monday to Friday for school. Saturday, 9 to 12, general cleaning. And Sunday evening, there is what we call evening service, compulsory for all students. It means we trek from Ibutako to Ojodo, distance of about 3 kilometers every day, Monday to Sunday, during the first 3 years. One incident happened when I was in Form 3. My late brother was in Germany reading engineering, and they sent a message to us that they will repatriate the man because there was no money. My mother and myself went to our farm at Akinfosile Junction. We set up a tent inside the farm. We didn't come to any house. So we were preparing garri for sale. During the period I was carrying one heavy load of garri, our late principal, Chief E.O. Agagu, was driving his vehicle and saw me. He reversed. In those days, why you tell the principal, you should dash into the bush. But with this heavy road, there's nothing I can do. He parked his car, got down of it. I was shaking. I was shaking. Say, Adeyelu, I said, sir. Said, I don't know it's as bad as this. If you have time, come and see me in school. I told my mother. My mother said, ha, kí ló tún ṣẹlẹ̀? Kí ló Agagu tún ló ṣe o? Ó yẹ títí ló bá. I said, no, no problem. Eventually, I went to Papa Agagu. He explained some few things to me and brought out Western Region Scholarship form that I should fill. He said, because I was always very neat, he thought I was very okay.
The wife, Mrs. Margaret Sholakbe Adeyelu, speaks on her husband's personality, relationship with God, and marriage.
In 1983, we met. By October 1st, 1984, we got married. The family knew my family, and God bless us with children.
That woman giving you peace in the house is another thing entirely. And peace of mind. Not only that, peace of mind tó wá fún mi yẹn sẹ́yìn ni mò ń jẹ èrè ẹ̀ níbi tá a wà yìí. Èrè ẹ̀ in the sense that àwọn àbúrò mi gbé lọ́dọ̀ mi kò kanra mọ́ wọn. Ó bá jẹ́ pé ó kanra mọ́ wọn sìn irú ẹnjìnà tó sìn èkó jẹ́ pé olófẹ́ di pé òun ló ń bọ́ mi tó ń gbé mi bí ẹyin. A ti sá kúrò lọ́dọ̀ mi tipẹ́. But ìgbà díẹ̀ bí ìyàwó mi dẹ̀ ti rí bébí fúnra mi tí mú family mi tí mo di family mi like this àti mọ́dà mi ó dẹ̀ bá mi gbà wọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ pé bí wọ́n ti wà nìyẹn o.
Pastor Tosin Adeyelu, the younger brother, speaks.
My senior brother born by the same mother. The second born of our mom. And we have lost the first born some years ago. But he's a family man. Very respectful man.
I have so many words to describe him. He's a man of integrity, a man of honor, honest. He's an honest person. He's a man that delights in people's progress.
After I got settled down, the many of us came to live with him. Myself, I live with him. His immediate junior brother also live with him. And some of my half brothers also live with him. The in-laws too also live with him. So at the time, he's a very accommodating person.
He gives himself to others. He is readily available. He's accommodating. And he's a giver. He's a giver. He gives so much. And I think that's one of the things that has been helping him. Because I could recall he retired from active working life at a very early age. But ever since then, he's surviving and he's doing very fine. To the extent that he still gives out so much. And I think that is because he's a giver. Because of the principle of giving and you receive back, God has been blessing him in that particular aspect.
Mr. Adeyelu's first daughter speaks on her father's lifestyle.
My father happens to be a very wonderful person. Mr. Adeyelu, like I call him behind him, Mr. Adeyelu, very wonderful person. Very jovial, fun to be with. He's always there for you. He's a family person, homely family person. He's a no-nonsense man though. He does not like things being done wishy-washy. He wants everything perfect. For me, he's a perfectionist. He wants everything done perfectly. Nothing short of excellence. In everything you do, Mr. Adeyelu wants perfection. He wants excellence.
I grew up with my dad right from zero till when I got married, almost like for almost 30 years plus 31 years, and it's been a wonderful experience. Though we had our highs and lows, but in all, we were able to learn through the whole situation. We had days of friction, we had days of joy where we shared days of joy and happiness, but it was a wonderful family. We all grew up together, and it's been a wonderful experience all along. I have learned some few things about him in his life, which now that I have my own family, that I could imbibe him. Of course, my dad being who he is a disciplinarian, he's a strict person. But over the years, I've learned hard work from him. I've learned commitment to things you are doing, to be committed, to have a good commitment. He's a very strong and strict disciplinarian. He's very disciplined. He's at times we thought he was too hard on us, but on the long run, it paid off for someone. For it paid off for us. We learned.
When they are under my roof, I don't allow them to socialize. I sit down in the house. They don't. I'm afraid if there's any of my children who will tell you have spent 2 days outside this house unless they are in the boarding house. That is, we may be wrong. Our approach may be wrong, but we don't socialize. We don't go out so much. It must be part of the training from my papa. And at the end of the day, I realize it's the best thing for me. Because if I sit down in my house, all bad things in life always occur in the night. So I don't encourage people going out in the night. I myself, I've told you, sometimes by 7:30, I'm already active.
He is an exceptional reader who preserves his books in the most careful manner.
There was one abandoned library of a modern school in my town. I would travel from our house to that place about a kilometer or plus. I would sit down in the library, in that abandoned library, and start reading all the books there, one by one by one. So all along the line, I've developed interest in reading, gaining knowledge, and I read anything. It's not just novel alone. Philosophical books, I read my Bible, and the more I read my Bible, I go through it again and go through it again. I look at other things, sort of the information here and there. So all along, I'm the type I don't like party. I don't like going to party. I prefer sitting down in my house.
Somebody that love books so much. So you have a partner room or a house beside my father's house where he built himself. I don't know that younger son that he used to read. That's where he read his books.
Èmi kọ́ ni mo kọ kíní ẹ̀ teacher mi ìjọ̀ka àná ló kọ o. Sorry. This is the book I used in 1956. So from that primary 1 till now, most of the book mo lò. Èyí tí mo lò ní secondary school, tí mo lò ní Mumbi ní Chelsea, tí mo lò ní university, tí mo lò fún master's program, and other things that are with me tí mo ń rà. I always keep my book. Olùkọ́ aṣọ mi lọ lè jí owó mi o, but máa fọwọ́ kan ìwé mi. So ẹ tó ìwé mi bá wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ tí ó bá rí kó rí ìwé mi kó fún mi. I cherish my book so much.
Mr. Adeyelu has in his books archive materials ranging from educational, political, history, business, religious, and many more.
It's just, you don't have, the people will probably say they have Baba Saleh, Iya Saleh. It doesn't have. We believe in Baba God. Ọlọ́run ẹnìkan ló gbẹ́kẹ̀lé, kò sí pásítọ̀ kò ń kúnlẹ̀ sábẹ́ èèyàn láti gbàdúrà fún. No, it doesn't do that. Àjẹtùmọ̀ lè ti délé ẹ̀mí ò tí ì di pé ó lọ ibì kan pé ó lọ lé oníyẹ̀mí wò. But we always see him with his Bible, reading book. Sometimes I will even ask him, are you going back to school or do you want to go and lecture?
He told me a particular thing at a particular time in my life. He said, see, in as much as you say you know God, you love God. No man or woman under the heaven, born of a woman, can harm you. Don't ever kneel before any man, quote and unquote, in the name of a pastor to pray for you. Stay in the corner of your room and pray, and God will answer you.
He currently runs a fish farm in his compound where he makes money for the family.
When it comes to a matter of business, I was doing general business, supplying something, building houses for people. And later on, I now branch into fishing business. I'm a fish farmer now. At least the last 15, 16 years as a fish farmer. Being a fish farmer, and I'm still on it.
Mr. Akintoye Adeyelu's childhood friend speaks.
We've been friends since 1980. It's a very long story. I just, for a start, let me say he's a bosom friend, a man of great stature. We met when we were students at the University of Lagos. We were in the MBA class of 1980-81. That was our first meeting.
Mostly I call him Yelu. Okay. Number one, you must appreciate he's older than myself. When we're in school, you don't look at age. But you can. There's no dull moment with Mr. ADEYELU. There's no dull moment. I call him Yelu. Now I call him Baba.
And directly from NYC, I came to the MBA class in the University of Lagos. Finland was new to me. I had not been there before. So to find my food was a bit difficult initially. But with somebody like ADEYELU, he came to my rescue, and he called me and told me, Gani, what is your problem? I found that you were always coming late to the early morning class, and you had a professor then, a lecturer, who was a stickler of time. By 9 o'clock, if you are not in his class, you have lost. He won't allow you to enter. Even minutes after 9, you won't enter the hall. And I was in a place a bit far from the school, and coming to Lagos, I was not too familiar with the terrain, I must say. So he now called me. I said, Kiani, you will lose marks because this man is a stickler of time, and apart from that, he earns a mark for punctuality. But 30% of his mark is on your punctuality. Then I told him my problems. ADEYELU just took it up upon himself and located a friend of his who they graduated together because he had his best degree in the University of Lagos anyway, and he knew the tariff very much. So he now called a friend of his who was studying architecture, because that one had longer years to stay, and told him, this is my friend, let him stay with you.
Baba Yelu. There's no dull moment. What I'm saying, there's no dull moment. He's always radiant. Sometimes you think he doesn't have any concern about so many things about life. You get to him, he's ready to just open up. There is no hidden, and he's a very forthright person. What I'm trying to say is this: he's not the kind of person that you can go and gist and tell the story of another person. Don't try with him. If you go secretly and tell him about this person, when the person comes, he will call you and say, this is what you told me. Okay, so you better don't go and do that. So you only play factual with the person. Anything you are telling him is factual. It's something you can defend. You don't go him and bite about another person in his presence. And if somebody go to try him, I know Mr. ADEYELU is a person. If you are talking to him about biting, you can take a call and call the person. This person is here. They say you did this. Is it true? So you are not going to try that. Your bank we only are and also we are carrying your game or something. The truth.
About 10 years later, we just met on the street of Lagos. After 10 good years, we didn't meet after the MBA class. Everybody started. But we met, and immediately he said, I must know where you live today, Gani. He followed me to my house. I was living with Honestly then in a rented apartment. Then we started talking. I said, Gani, don't you have any plan to put up a president's care? I'm working with a ministry. Where do I get money to? He said, no. You have to start planning, no matter how small. That was it. He now took up the issue. Yeah, I already got this land, but that was not on it. He said that with this land, you can build something. So it was his idea that this premises came up. In fact, to know how very wonderful the thing came out. You know, I told you that there was a colleague of his who was an architect that he gave me to live with when I was without accommodation in the University of Lagos. That guy had now, at that time, had now set up his own practice. We now went back to him. It was that guy who drew the plan of this premises, and he, ADEYELU, took up the construction from the one till for about 4 years that we used in building this house.
It was him that made me to buy my first land in this Lagos. I went to see him. The time I'm talking about, he built this house. He was already living in this house, and then he asked me, "Do you have a land?" And I said, "I don't." I said, "No, how come that you don't have a land?" And he took me to the first land, and we bought it. Babanla, I have no intention of building really. I just want to buy land because they asked me to buy land. You know, when you have a brother, it's like you are looking at whatever he asks you to do. You are willing to, okay. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know why he asked me to buy land. I bought it and I was doing, I think I was planting something on the land. Yes, one day he called me. People don't buy land. They build on land. I said, it's okay, yes, you have to build a house. So he got all the professionals together, the architect, all the people together, and they gave me a drawing. And that's how I built my first house. And literally when I say I built it, he facilitated all the process.
On how he feels about clocking 70, Mr. ADEYELU said he feels very sad.
I feel very sad because I'm nearing my grave gradually. Very soon, you have to face. If you don't face the reality, very soon, much of what we are seeing, I will see again. I will close my eyes and I will open it. Sooner or very soon, it will be sooner than the one I've spent a number of years I've spent in my life. So, but the only joy there is that if I continue this way, I will meet my God. That is the only joy in it, that if I die, shall I go and empty-handed, shall I meet my Savior? So I don't want to go and empty-handed. That is the only joy. The other side, can I get to the other side safely? That is it. Because the number of years left for me cannot be more than half of what I spent if you want to face reality. It means ọ̀pá agbéléká tẹ̀yìn ti jù. So if I say at 72, I'm very happy. Happy for what? I'm going gradually. I'm nearing my grave. And those are most of these things, friends, family I've seen. Very soon, I won't see them again. Because of that, it's no issue of happiness. And when you talk of fulfillment, it's not issue of fulfillment. It is only God that can fulfill your aspiration.
Today, Mr. AKINTOYE Olusegun ADEYELU, JP, is 70 years. Happy birthday, live long and continue to prosper.
As he's clocking a milestone, which is 70 this year, my wishes to him is that God grants him long life in good health. I pray that all he still aspires to get and to still do, that the Lord will grant unto him. I want to wish my dad a very happy birthday, long life and prosperity. I pray that God would grant him good health and that the remaining days of his life on earth will be spent in peace and in prosperity.
And, I want to really just wish him happy birthday, long life, and good health, and more and prosperity.
As you look forward, the expectation of you concerning your children, that God would grant you, your grandchildren, that God will grant them, and then they make them fulfill and achieve their purpose. As you have wished to other people, God will also grant you those desires for yourself, for your children, and your grandchildren.
I wish him more years of glorious of glorious deeds like he has been doing in the past.
And as he marks his 70th birthday, he will enjoy the best of the best from God in terms of his health, in the mighty name of Jesus. He will not desire death as a result of sickness, but will keep longing for better and better days ahead by the special grace of God. So I wish Babanla happy birthday and many happy returns of the day.
Babanla, we want to thank God for your life. We wish you happy birthday, long life, good health. We want to appreciate God for your life. We want to thank you for God using you for us, for myself, my wife, my children. We want to appreciate you. We wish you happy birthday, long life, good health. You are the head of the Shema family. You will Emma Kowak Jekpe ní kú kí ọjọ́jọ́ tó dé. Ẹ má dàgbà, ẹ má darúgbó ní orúkọ Jésù. And the Lord will be with you.
Happy birthday, Daddy. Happy birthday, Daddy. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, Daddy. May the good Lord bless you. May the good Lord bless you. May the good